What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to take you into a mini grocery haul that I busted last minute and then took out all of the things from my freezer and pantry just so that I can make this meal plan for the next 5 days. This is the first time that I use ChatGPT for meal planning. My sister had actually sent me a reel or something on Instagram where this lady literally buys groceries because of her ChatGPT skills, and I was like, no way. So I went ahead and I tried it out. I did have to edit this about 3 times because it kept giving me weird meals like boiled chicken and lime squeeze on your yogurt, and I'm like, what is that? So I did have to implement the fact that we are Puerto Rican, Cuban, and Venezuelan household, and so to please change the ingredients so that they kind of resemble what it is that we eat here in this house. And I was very surprised. 5-day meal plan with no eggs for breakfast. One of the things that I put in on the note is that we have a ton of pasta. We have some yuca and egg rolls, which I could figure out a meal to make it with. We have corn to add to the ramen for the kids who like corn. And we do have some veggies. I didn't get to put in all of the ingredients that I had in my refrigerator, so I kind of just went with what we had in the pantry, and I'm going with that just to see, because everything that's in the fridge could just be added on to as I see fit. And so my to-do list, it's just like thaw meats the day before, freeze the bagels, because if not, the kids will eat it up and then we won't have it for breakfast the next day. Separate meats and once it's thawed out, and then divide it by use. So I have like a huge chunk of frozen chicken, and it's like 5-6 pounds of frozen chicken, and so I'm gonna divide that once it thaws out. I'm gonna divide that so it's good enough for 2 meals. And then I have like hamburger meat that's like 1 patty per kid, and my kids eat 2 to 3 burgers when we make burger nights, so I'm gonna stuff arepas with that instead. And once that falls out, I just crush it like picadillo, and then we have arepas. The naan bread, it was like dividing naan bread almost into like 3 meals, and I only have 9 pieces of naan bread. My kids will eat easily two naan breads with whatever, and I only have 9, so they'll have like 1.5, however that works out for breakfast. So it's like 1 meal for the naan bread. I have some use extra ingredients. Something to remember or to do is to use extra ingredients for extra hungry days. So I am gonna try, but my kids follow this and I follow this. Like when they don't, if I'm not gonna make breakfast that day, or I'm not making lunch that day, or I'm behind with the little one and we're doing school and it's lunchtime and kids are hungry, they'll just jump on here and look at the planner and be like, oh, okay, this is for lunch, guys, and they will go ahead and make it for me. But dinner, I'm more hands-on with dinner because it's when my husband comes home, like the ingredients just are different. Like it's much more relaxed for breakfast and lunch. And there are some meals that it recommended for lunch. Usually we don't have huge meals for lunch. Let's see if this works. Is that better? So much better. Yeah, usually for lunch is so much more relaxed, and normally we just do like leftovers, or I'll have ramen with leftover meat and some cut up veggies or hard-boiled eggs to add some protein to the ramen. But we are gonna have, it looks like we might have a couple of like meatless lunches, so make like a chipotle bowl type thing. I've got rice, refried beans, 3 cans of tuna, so it's not really meatless, but I only have 3 cans of tuna. Normally the kids eat protein lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're pretty big on protein in the house, so I'm gonna stretch out those 3 cans of tuna, and instead of making our usual tuna melts or tuna sandwiches, we are gonna go ahead and make like a little chipotle bowl with the rice and refried beans, and then add a salad as well for whoever wants a salad, because not all of them eat salad. Normally Wednesdays, my husband takes them out to eat because they go to church. It's like my day off where I stay home and I catch up on things. But this Wednesday, I am gonna make them arepas with the leftover hamburger beef so that they could take it with them and we could save, because we're on a tight budget this week for meals. We're on a tight budget, period. And anytime we take the kids out, even if it's McDonald's, it's like 50 to 74 bucks easily. And value meals only go as far because kids will be hungry. None of my kids drink Coke. I mean, they do, but they prefer not to. So they order like the fresh squeezed lemonade from McDonald's, which is like $2 per person. And my 18-year-old can eat like 4 double cheeseburgers or 2 quarter pounders. So they're like growing like Happy Meals and like little value meals don't fill the kids. So I'm gonna try to hook my husband up with that. And then if he has to get something, it could be like drinks and like fries or, you know, something like that, a supplement where we could stay on a maybe like a $20 budget for Wednesday. So I'm gonna put all of this away and I'm gonna start dinner. I am making picadillo today with rice and beans and plantains. And then I am going to take out the chicken for tomorrow, and I'm going to label the foods so that I know what I'm making on what day, and I could just pull that bag out and I know what I'm defrosting. Right. And this is an extra step I've never actually done before, but because this is such a budget conscious week, I am gonna go ahead and mark my foods so that we don't mix anything up and think we could just have it because we're hungry. That's why I made that, like looking up the extra foods and putting that to the side so the kids have something to munch on if they're still hungry. And I do have fruit as well that they can eat instead of going through my groceries. Marking of the food is a brand new thing I literally just implemented on the fly right now, today. So I think this is actually going to be very beneficial for upcoming grocery hauls, because that way I know what meats I have to separate for what meals, and then the kids know. I also marked like the ramen and some of the meats and fruits and things like that, and yogurt. I marked it as extra. That way they know they can't touch anything that has the days of the week marked on there, and they could only grab what is extra. The meal plan on ChatGPT did not include pastas, and we're huge on pasta, especially for lunch, because my husband is not a huge fan. So I am going to mark that for our meals in case we don't have leftover meats to make those lunches that ChatGPT did for us. I also pack my husband a meal every single time I cook. He gets a meal for the next day so he could take to work. Here I am just going ahead and making our rice, beans, and I'm heating up the oil, separating the plantains, and hoping that this works. And it did. It worked out really well. They all came out really good. Normally you will see plantains this color, but my family likes them almost charred. So we went ahead and cooked them down. As soon as the food is cooked, I go ahead and I separate my husband his lunch for the next day. That way I don't have to worry about anybody over serving themselves with seconds and stuff, and then my husband doesn't have a lunch. So the picadillo came out bomb. This is my favorite. This is my favorite meal. I love this meal, except I would substitute the pinto beans for black beans because black beans are my favorite. This came out really yummy. We're about to eat. It's 7:19, 7:20. It's kind of late for a Sunday night meal, but I got home late today, and I started my meal almost at 6, so I think it's okay. But thank you guys for watching. If you are still here, please hit that like and subscribe, share it with a friend, and I hope this was useful and good for you. God bless.